a movie that we watched
in our heart
called They Live. And I really wanted Goose to watch this because he's never seen it before. And we were talking about lizard people last time.
Yes.
And
you had told me about a movie that had a similar premise.
Yes. And I haven't had a time to look that up, but I'll have to look it up later. But yes, They Live. It was pretty crazy. I want to hear your thoughts. What was like your from the beginning to the end? What was like your thoughts on it?
Okay. First of all, made in 1988. Definitely an 80s movie because he had the 80s jeans. He had the long hair.
Had the long intro.
In his pants.
The long intro.
The long intro. A real long build up. He was a real tough guy. I liked it. That stuff doesn't normally bore me as long as it's an interesting premise. I guess, should we talk about it and then go on into spoilers for afterwards?
It's from 88. If somebody hasn't seen it
All
by
right.
now, yes.
Assume spoilers.
Obviously, there's going to be spoilers in this.
Assume spoilers.
Yes.
But in case you wanted to see it, didn't want spoilers, it's technically about...
And Harry Potter, Dumbledore dies. Oh, we're not talking about that one, right? Okay.
Oh my god. What?
That's right.
Dumbledore dies?
Yeah, Harry pulls out a Glock 49 and says, LOL at your swag, and then shoots him sideways.
Sounds
He holds the gun
cringe
sideways.
as heck, dude.
Yeah. This is at least the version I watched. I don't know if that was the real movie or not, but it was pretty good.
Okay. This movie, They Live, not Harry Potter, is about a man who's looking for a job, and he gets involved in a conspiracy in where the rich people are actually secretly not human.
So how do they find out about this? How's he find out?
He finds out about this through a pair of sunglasses that I guess he steals.
How does he get the sunglasses, though?
Well, that was just the premise. So now we're into real spoilers.
Okay.
No.
So he gets these sunglasses, and
he gets introduced. What is it? He has a friend. He finally gets a job, like a non kind of contract job at a construction site, dangerous construction site.
I'm trying to remember how he found this guy.
And he met him at the work, and he saw that he had a rucksack, and he needed somewhere to sleep. He's like, "There's a homeless place down the street," and then he's like, "Want to go?" And then he doesn't answer him at all. So he's like, "Fine,
he
whatever,
just
man."
follows him for like blocks.
Yeah, and then he leaves without talking to him, and then he just follows him for blocks, and finally turns around and is like, "Okay, you didn't answer me, so why are you following me?" He's like, "I want to see where you were going before I said yes." And I guess they're instant friends. But for me, that would be a huge turnoff. Like,
imagine like talking to somebody like, "Hey, dude, you want to go see this?" And they just stare at you and like, well, "All right, man." And then they just follow you for like probably like a good 30-40 minutes.
Imagine you offer someone a sandwich because you think they're hungry. They don't say anything. So when you leave, they follow you and it's like, "Why are you following me?" He's like, "I want to see where you got that sandwich from before I decide to take it." It's like, "Yeah, but I got it from home." It's like, "Okay, let me see your home then."
And let me see where the sandwich was made. I don't trust you.
I need to see the bread. Let me see the money you used to buy that bread.
How did you get that money?
I need to know where it comes from.
He follows you around for like months before he's like convinced to eat it, and then by the time it's like moldy, he's like, "Well, I'm not eating this."
I trusted you. He's like putting it in his mouth. "Oh, it's disgusting, and I trusted you." But anyway, they become instant friends.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys who helps like run the area and helps the poor people, he goes running. He takes this blind priest who's shouting about like, "Oh, they're here to take our jobs, or they're here to run us."
Oh my God! They took my job. They took your job.
Ruin our country. He's talking about rich people, I guess. And
that's what you think he's talking about. Anyway.
And then they see a TV. There's a TV out in the open where all the people are looking at, and some guy's hacking their signal, trying to warn people about them.
You have no idea how this TV is hooked up because they're like literally out in the middle of a field.
Yeah.
There's no sound of a generator running.
I assume a lot of extension cords.
Yeah, maybe. They just got it like hooked up to the side of the building, running out that way.
So then the guy who's helping the poor people, you see the main character at night sees him take the priest, who's just like kind of out in the open, and he quickly rushes him into a church across the street. And
so
then,
we're going like really a play-by-play of the movie at this point.
well, I'm trying to explain. You asked me how he get the glasses.
All right.
So I'm trying to answer your question, but
Okay.
you got to build up to that. Anyway, he goes in the back door. Our '80s hero, a wander. I mean, it says right here, and I'm looking at a quick synopsis on the Google, so I have some reference to, and it says Nada, and I don't think his name was Nada. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I didn't really hear anyone say his name.
It says Roddy Piper.
That's the actor.
Okay.
Who's Nada? That can't be his name. Was that his name?
Okay, so we got
Look, I'll do They Live IMDb. We're gonna take a look. His name can't be Nada. Oh, also, I realize this is a book based on 8 o'clock in the morning.
You need to read that at some point, see if it's any different.
That could be good.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, his name is Nada.
His name was Nada. I never remember them saying his name.
I didn't hear anyone say that.
I don't think they didn't really say their names too much.
True. He never introduced himself because he's such like a weirdo
Right.
drifter.
The Frank, I know his friend Frank, we knew, we heard his name yelled a lot.
We heard Frank, but we didn't hear. Okay, so Nada, I guess maybe pronounced differently. Anyway, Nada follows them because he thinks it's weird.
Yeah.
Even
though he's acting weird the entire time.
There's in the church here singing. He realizes it's just a fake cover up. There's speakers and there's a little group that meets there, and he sees her making glasses.
He goes inside there after he sees a helicopter kind of just chilling above the building.
Oh yeah, he sees a helicopter constantly going overhead.
It was funny though because he had he was using binoculars to spy on the building, right?
Yeah.
And then he looks up and there's just a helicopter there. It's how do you not hear it? If it looked like the helicopter was maybe 20 feet above the house.
Wasn't there something that was really loud that shouldn't have been loud, and the helicopter was super quiet?
It was just the music. The music was playing, and
the
people were talking. Yeah, background talking people. Right?
Something was there's a really loud hum or something that wasn't it was too loud, and the helicopter was super quiet, like a brand new.
You really
Roomba.
had to listen. You had to put in your hearing aids to hear the blades going.
Yeah.
It's I don't know where they get this helicopter from. It's the quietest helicopter I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know how he noticed it because he's looking there and then he just looks up and there's a helicopter there.
Yeah.
It's you would have heard it coming for miles before it even got there if it was flying that low.
The strange thing was it kept coming overhead, and there's clearly a guy on the side peeking out.
Yeah, there was quite a few scenes of them going over it.
Yeah. So that was the weird thing. And then you see some guys, the guys in the church, that come out with put sunglasses on, looking at the helicopter super obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's they're scoping it out. It's I wonder if the people in here, and then they all run out with their sunglasses, looking all worried and whatnot. It's
yeah.
He's definitely not trying to look inconspicuous here.
No, from what I gathered, he didn't know what they were making. I think he assumed they were making drugs or something, and the police were after them.
Heck,
and he hit a box
probably.
when he was spying on them. He hit a box in a little wooden panel behind a panel, and then he left. And then he watched them. He took a guy's binoculars. I don't know how he got them, but he got some kid's binoculars off of him.
I remember the people were sitting around the TV and they watched the one guy, his friend Frank. He seen him walk over to this guy that had binoculars.
Nada. Yeah, Nada puts his hand on this kid's shoulder and he's talking to him like a friend, and then he just gives him his binoculars.
You can see the boy, it was this young boy.
He's 18 or something.
Yeah, 17, 18. He looked very uncomfortable. He's okay, man, just take my binoculars and leave me alone.
I don't see any.
And he also had the 80s mullet. The business in the front, party in the back kind of haircut.
Nada, I feel like Nada just had just long hair.
No, that's what Nada had. He had
the mullet.
He had the mullet.
Very the smooth mullet. Anyway, so he spies on them all day and all night with binoculars. He just sits there for hours.
So you're saying he put the box behind the paneling,
yeah.
And then that's when the blind guy, the blind priest, finds him, and he's putting his hands all over his face. He's let me feel your face.
Let me touch you. I can tell. Yeah, and then soon after, huge raid, and then
so during this raid, it was just over the top. So at first they got 2 police cars shows up. Okay, they got them outside. Then they have a SWAT van show up. They got all the SWAT running out. It's okay, that's a little bit excessive.
And they all park in front of the church
because literally there's only 3, maybe 4 people inside the church.
Yeah. It's oh man, that's crazy.
So and then you look down the street, 5 more police cars are coming, and a bulldozer.
And a line of SWAT guys with riot shields.
Yeah.
And they don't go to the church. They go to the homeless park across the street.
Yeah, right across the street for no reason. And they just start bulldozing down all of their houses. And, like, just, like, tackling, like, tasing people and whatnot.
Yeah. We assume that the priest and the guy on the TV who's like...
No, we've seen the priest get beaten down.
Yeah.
He was blind.
But we assume they were killed.
Yeah, I don't
they
remember
were beaten
seeing
down.
him again.
Yeah, it's assumed that they got him and they killed him.
Yeah. So Nada, he ends up, like, you know, he sees all this happening. He's trying to, like, hide out. He ends up finding, you know, the boy they took the binoculars from. He takes him. They run into this building. They're, like, watching what they're doing outside.
He's being, like, really, like grabby with this boy.
Yeah.
Like, they're running around corners, but he's, like, almost got him in a headlock. And like the boy, if I were in that position, it'd be so uncomfortable to like run.
I think he was trying to be like fatherly, like
yeah,
I'm going to protect you,
protective,
man.
like this way, come on. But it's like he had his like both arms and like one on each shoulder. He's like got him like hunched over and like almost like he's like forcing him to move.
Well, it didn't help that this boy was like really skinny and he was like hulked up, like really like swole.
Yeah, he was very swole.
So
2 times he took off his shirt and he was super.
Oh yeah, there's like so many times like he was taking his shirt off. It's like, oh, here's another peck scene for the ladies.
Here's this 80s hero scene.
So
and then
anyway, so the next day they go out and you know all of the stuff's mowed down. But what I thought was hilarious was they left the TV. The TV's still there playing. People are sitting around. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
They bulldozed and broke everything except
one
for the
couch
TV.
and the TV. Still.
Yeah.
And then
they're like, oh, we're you know tearing down these people's houses, but can't get rid of their TV. That's heartless.
Yeah. So I assume because they need the TV, right?
It's programming.
TVs, yeah, TV.
Right.
They're programming for them.
Well, we find this out later, of course.
Of course. So for some reason, even though the police came, he goes back for the box he hid. I assume he wants it for money. Even though he says, like, I believe in America. He had a little scene where he's like, his friend Frank was like, I got this thing I gotta do and I got some plans. And then Nada's like, I just want a job. I believe in America. And like we just gotta go through the hard work and do what we gotta do. And then he goes into the box for these assumed drugs. I assume he thinks they're drugs. Yeah. And or like something. And he takes them and he runs off into like 3 alleys.
Well, I mean,
5 blocks
like
away.
if you just seen like 20 police cars show up and like SWAT and all this other kind of stuff, you'd be like, I'm kind of curious about why.
But originally he hid one. He never looked in the box, but he hid a box.
Yes.
And then he goes back, and instead of looking what was in the box, he takes it 5 streets away.
Right. We were like, dude, there's nobody around. He's inside the house on his own. Nobody's going back in there, right? Because they basically arrested everybody.
They already cleared the place.
And instead of opening the box there, goes outside. There's police still like patrolling around. He's like, oh, I gotta go back inside. Wait till they leave. And like goes 5 blocks out.
There's
to
a police car that comes around the corner, and he leaves box first, looks so obviously, and then goes back inside.
And the police are just like, yeah,
they
that's
didn't see
normal activity. Keep driving.
Yeah. So then he goes. He opens a box, and it's a box full of sunglasses.
Yeah.
And he hides the rest in the trash can.
And you could tell that he was confused. He's like, what the? He's like, I must have grabbed the wrong box or something, right? Yeah. So he's like in this back alley. And there's like a bunch of garbage cans. Whatnot, puts it in the garbage can.
Yeah, hides it there.
It's like, dude, first of all, you could have just stayed in the house. Nobody looked behind the paneling.
Yeah, put it back in the paneling.
You could have put it back there. But anyways, like, we'll find, later on in the movie. Yeah. But as soon as he put it back, I was like, dude, somebody's going to come collect the garbage.
Somebody's going to come.
And I remember at the time you were like, look, there's so much, there's like so a bunch of garbage.
So much trash is there, no one's going to bother with it.
Yeah,
it's already been abandoned.
So he ends up, throwing them on there, realizes that there's one pair out still, so he, puts on his shirt.
He's very stylish, so he puts on a shirt and then he puts it on. And all of a sudden, he sees a woman, I think it was a woman, that was the first one. He sees a woman or a man with a weird skull face.
Yeah, he's at the magazine stand.
Yeah, he looks. What was it? He looked at the ground. He puts it on and he takes it off, and he goes, "Whoa!" Because I guess when you put it on and off, it has like a drug effect.
Yeah, he said later on it gives him kind of like a headache.
Yeah, if you leave it on too long, you get headaches and stuff, and you get like a high, which is why
somehow it like blocks the transmission.
Yeah,
because it got this like radio wave transmission.
You up. Because a lot of the themes is.
You're all asleep, man, but I'm the only one that's awake.
There's like things you can't see on top of lampposts with like speakers that say sleep. And
That's right. Yeah, that's one of the first things he sees, I think.
Under every magazine and every picture, there's a few sayings. There's consume, stay asleep, obey.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Marry and reproduce kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
be sheeple.
When he's looking, through this magazine, he's got the glasses on and saying all these things, and he looks up, and then there's this guy in a business suit walks up, and he's the first alien, that he sees, or like lizard person, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
But they got those crazy looking faces.
Those scary faces with a bulging
It's like
eyes.
basically like a skull with like a little bit of muscle on it and like bulging eyes.
And what I like is every time he looks through the sunglasses, it's in black and white.
Yeah.
Which is, I assume, maybe it's like a little homage to like old black and white like science fiction films.
Could have been, or maybe they just thought that showing like flesh and whatnot like that would be too intense for people.
Perhaps it's just easier that way.
They might have done it in color first, and maybe they just thought it looked too fake.
Or maybe they thought it was hard to distinguish real life, and then when he's looking through the glasses.
Yeah, I think putting the glasses on.
Also, it's easier to edit. Like put the big obey signs in the buildings. It's easier to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's in black and white.
That's also a possibility because it was in the '80s, so it's a little bit harder for them. But yeah, so this is the first time he sees one, and he's just like staring at him the whole time. He doesn't say anything. He's like, "What's your problem, man?"
Super obviously, putting glasses on and off again, just looking at him really creepily. Yeah. Pretty soon after, he just goes around and he gets like a little more accepting of it. I guess he gets a little high off of it.
Well, I think he's slowly going insane. Because he walks into another store afterwards, and there's a few like other people there. They're all talking, and he snaps on this one woman because she walks into him.
Yeah, he said, "Lady, you're ugly as hell."
Yeah.
He just starts insulting her because he looks like ugly.
Yeah, starts saying a bunch of insults
and making it obvious that he can see her.
And then she starts, she has a watch on. She starts saying, "It's like we have one that can see."
Yeah, really creepily.
And then you see around the other store because when he first walks in, he sees a bunch of them, and he sees all of them looking at them. They're all talking into their watch.
Yeah, they're all walking over to him.
Yeah, and he freaks out. And he runs out of the store, and that's when the two cops come up to him.
He insults the lady like all cheekily, and then he trips over like a trash can.
Oh yeah, he does like one final insult, and then it trips.
Very uncoolly.
But then he goes outside, and that's when the cops come after him. He's like, I don't want to have to blow your brains out, man.
Yeah, they're making it seem like they're gonna like frame him for like attacking them, and they're gonna like resist and.
And I think one of the things the cop said to him, he's like, "You're just as ugly to us as we are to you." And he's like, "I don't think that's a possibility."
That's not possible.
And then so he's like insulting him. He's pretending to be like all like distraught until he gets close enough, and then he like clotheslines him.
Yeah, takes out the cops. Takes their guns, shoots them with their guns.
Yeah, and the thing is he gets the gun, he shoots the one cop, and then the cop behind him, he doesn't know that he's gotten up. Instead of the cop taking his gun out and shooting him, he hits him with a baton.
Yeah, weakly with a baton.
And then he turns around and shoots him when he's on the ground.
I mean, they would have been, they wanted to kill him because they knew. But instead they went for the baton.
Well, I think they just thought it'd be weird if, because there was people around, right?
He had a gun. He had a gun.
He didn't have a gun at the time.
No,
so, at the very...
He shoots one guy, and the other guy comes on him with a baton.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, he should have shot him. But, I mean, when they first got to him, they couldn't shoot him because people were around. Be like, why did you just shoot that guy?
At that point, they can't. They asked him to come to a private spot at the top.
After he shot the one person, the other guy should have shot him.
Yeah. And then he goes to their car, grabs their gun, and then enters a bank.
That's right. He grabs the guns, he walks in, he looks like he's confused that he's in a bank at first.
Yeah. He's like, whoops. And then this leads to the classic scene where he says the line.
Yeah, that's where this one line comes from.
I'm here to chew ass and...
What?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
That's not how it goes.
I didn't mean to mess that up. That was a mistake.
I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of gum.
And I'm all out of gum. And then he shoots a pump shotgun with one hand.
Yeah.
He holds it in one hand and holds his arm out max length, and he's trying to shoot it like that.
The thing is, this is a single barrel shotgun. So if I remember right from my guns, it can only hold one shell at a time. Some of them I think can hold maybe 4 or 5 shells.
4 or 5, maybe 6 max.
He ends up shooting the shotgun at least 20 times.
Yeah.
He's blowing the heads off of people, and then he goes to shoot this one guy that's insulting him, and he disappears.
Yeah,
And he's like,
he
wait,
teleports
what?
with his watch.
Yeah, he teleports with his watch.
But he's only shooting the alien them. He's only shooting them, but no one else can see.
As soon as he runs out of the bank, there's like this other cop, but he's like regular, and he's like, drop your gun.
And he says the beat feet.
Yeah, but the thing was, it's like, dude, like he had his gun down. He could have tossed him the glasses. He still had his gun and be like, dude, put the glasses on. He could have had a cop on his side, but he just didn't do it. He was just going in. But like if this was the same situation, none of us, I don't think, would be thinking straight.
Yeah. Also, it makes you feel weird when you put them on. So.
But he's literally just like killing random people.
Yeah. So then takes him off. He realizes he's made a mistake. I guess.
Well, no, he ends up running into this parking lot. This is when we meet Holly. We end up meeting her, and he's like, he grabs her and takes her into the car, and he's like, drive.
Yeah, drive and go to your house so I can hide.
Yeah, and he's like all like kind of tired.
Oh god, he tries to make her wear the glasses, and she's like, okay, I'll wear them if you want. And then whatever, even if I don't see anything, I'll tell you that I see it.
Yeah, and then he's like, never mind.
He's like, whatever, fine. And
then she goes to drink like near her like window, so it's like one of those houses in like California that's like looking over a cliffside.
She's rich.
Yeah, and so like he walks up to her, like to apologize, and somehow she takes this like 250-pound man and chucks him through the glass of her like apartment. This glass must have been like made out of like paper.
She says he was a news anchor, and he's like, the TV on the signal's like, we could see him on the TV, and he's weirdly excited for some reason. Then he runs over to the TV like a child, and then she grabs him and chucks him out a window.
He's like, she's a secret kung fu master, that's what it is.
Yeah, and she calmly calls the police.
And so he's like rolling down this hill for what it seems like, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he gets up and he's like underneath this like other house's like balcony. And it looks like he's about to fall asleep. Oh, before this actually, he was like sitting in her living room and he was like leaning against her couch. It looks like he's like falling asleep while he's still holding her hostage.
Yeah, and like a dummy. And then when she tries to slowly move, he's like,
don't fuck with me.
Don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
He's like asleep still.
And so anyways, he falls down the hill. He's underneath this balcony, and it looks like he's like broken his leg or whatever, right? Like, or he's like hurt his leg because he's having to pull it up.
He's just injured a little bit, not really.
And he sees like police coming up. It's like, oh god, I gotta go.
And then he beats feet.
Yeah, he beats his feet. He gets back in the city. He ends up falling asleep in this alleyway.
Yeah.
Then he goes to find his friend.
Now,
he goes to find Frankie boy.
He's gotta have Frank on his side. He meets him he secretly sneaks. Everything is a murder. He's on TV.
He's like walking downtown. There's TVs and everything with his face on it.
And he's just like, whatever, I'll just walk away. He goes to the construction site for Frank. Frank's like, get out of here! I don't want nothing to do with this. I got a family and kids.
Yeah, he's got wife and kids at home, man.
And then he rolls into an alleyway, and then Frank finds him somehow.
Well, no, see, like, he goes back to the alleyway to find the box of sunglasses that he left, right? And he gets there, and the garbage is taken out. He's like, "Oh God, no!"
What are the chances?
Because what happened was he left the glasses he had. He got knocked off them at Holly's place.
Yeah, they're still on her floor.
And there was a scene after she was like on the phone talking to them, and she sees the glasses on the floor. So he's like, "Oh crap! I gotta go get another thing of glasses." And so like he sees that's empty, but then he sees that the garbage truck is still there. And the guy's just, finally closing the door, and he's getting in the truck, and he runs up, opens the door.
I'm going to call the trash guy Joe. He gets Joe fired.
Yeah.
Because Joe was supposed to close the door.
Yeah.
And he opens the door secretly, and everything gets dumped out.
Joe closes the door, gets in the truck.
And
when you're in a truck, I've been in a truck before, you have your glasses, you can see on the side. He clearly goes up to the side that Joe would be driving on, so the driver's side, to pull this lever to open the thing. There's no way Joe, being in his truck in the driver's seat, doesn't see this happening in his mirror, or hears the door being opening. It's like there's so many things that you have to suspend disbelief. But of course, it's just a sci-fi movie about there being aliens.
It's
right?
80s action.
So, anyways, he opens the door. He goes in, finds the glasses.
Doesn't he find like only one glass?
No, he finds two.
Yeah, he gets like two glasses.
No.
One for him and an extra one. That's all he gets.
Yeah.
because the box is empty, but he finds 2 of them.
Yeah,
and then he gets dumped out of the truck, and then it leaves without any trash.
He's got the box. The guy drives. Joe drive like
For Joe.
So he tips. So Joe tips up the thing, I guess, to make all the trash run to the back of the truck, so it can all be piled up, right?
Yeah.
But since the door's open, it spills all the trash out. That's why Goose was saying that he'd be fired.
That's why he's fired, because he was supposed to close that, and now they're gonna think that he left it open.
So anyways, Nada, he turns around. He's got the box, with the glasses. And out of nowhere comes Frankie Boy. Tosses him his, money into his box.
So here's a week's pay on this job that doesn't pay much, and I have a family fee. Here's a week's pay for a murderer. Get out of here. I guess they really became super best friends.
After they knew each other for, a day and a half?
They only had, 5 lines together. They had one, emotional talk when he said, I believe in America.
Yeah. And then he was like, put these glasses on. And then he's like,
I don't want nothing to do with you, man.
And then they get into this, 10-minute fight.
Yes.
Scene.
The best fight.
It's they're doing, at first it's a regular fist fight, and then it goes all WWE.
He goes, I put on these glasses, I want nothing to do with you. And then he aggressively walks up, put on the glasses. And then as he's reaching over the glasses, Frank, I think, backhands him or something, and just, punches him. And then he punches him back. And he goes, put on the glasses! And he's like, no!
Yeah.
And then, just so stubborn, not even willing to just do it and get it over with and go, okay, whatever, I'm done. No, but he just, refuses the glasses.
It was his pride, man. It's because he told him to do something. It's in class and school, when you'd go to sit down at your, desk or whatever, and somebody's like, sit down. You'd be like, F you, man, I'm not sitting down now.
I'm standing up. For myself.
That's right.
So, yeah, they have an extremely, very long fight scene of going back and forth.
It's, over the top.
Both are down, at least once or twice.
And as soon as you think it's over, Nada's, laying on the floor, right? He's all bleeding out. It looks like he's barely conscious. And Frank's, walking away. It's, looking like he's barely holding himself up. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Nada comes and tackles him to the ground. And he's beating him up, and he puts the glasses on him, drags him up.
Yeah,
he's barely able to walk.
He knocks Frank, knocks Nada down, and then Nada knocks Frank down, and then Frank knocks Nada down again, throws the glasses on him.
Watch out!
And is leaving, and then Nada gets up again and knocks him down, and then forces the glasses on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, look with your eyes.
And you see, it looks up at the sign, it says obey.
Yeah, and he gets weirded out. And then they slowly go back to a motel or something, a hotel.
One of the guys who was originally in the church at the beginning finds them.
Yeah.
They're like,
let's just say the Frank abandoned his family, essentially.
Yeah.
He never went back home.
For the rest of the movie, you never see Frank's family.
Nada is his new wife.
Yeah, he just kind of leaves them. For this guy, he's known for a day and a half. He finds out the world's run by aliens, right? So, one of the guys that, was there in the church beginning finds them. They find, a group of people that all know about the same thing. And they're like, there's a woman at the beginning. She's like, oh, give me your glasses. We got contacts now. And it makes it...
So they don't have to wear glasses.
It doesn't give you the headache anymore.
It's better now somehow.
Yeah.
And then, I guess we'll just sum up the last half without spoiling the end.
So Holly's there. The guy, he goes up to talk to Holly.
Yeah, she had the glasses, so
she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I should have put them on sooner.
Yeah, they had the most romantic 3 seconds ever.
Yeah, and then, they go to kiss, and right before they kiss, the wall
I don't think they did. She was about to say something.
Oh, okay.
She's about to say, the third sentence she's ever said to him, and then...
Yeah, then the wall is, blown up.
Yeah,
they walk through, start shooting everybody.
When they got there was a biker guy guarding the entrance.
Yeah.
And... even though the back half was blown up by cops and there was gunfire, when they run out the entrance, he's still there.
Yeah, he's still guarding it. He's like, "Don't worry, guys, I'll keep you safe." and the thing is he has the same kind of shotgun the guy had at the beginning, right?
Yeah,
it's a 3 to 4 shot shotgun. He's shooting it off like a machine gun at the other people.
Yeah,
he shoots it at least a good 10-15 times.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, there's no way there's that much ammo in that shotgun. Are you using some kind of cheat code? Maybe it's some kind of alien weapon that's got unlimited shotgun ammo in it. I don't know.
So, final points. They have to stop this broadcast system from the news.
Yep. They end up, so they got one of the watches. One of the guy in there was like, oh, we don't know how to use this for the teleporter.
But here's a watch anyway.
So, everybody there basically gets shot except for them two.
They escape through a malfunction of the watch.
The watch malfunctions.
And now, we don't really know where they are.
No, it never really says.
It could be one of three things. It could be a space station, but it's not. It's a news network, and it's also a really rich person's ballroom.
Well, I think
and some
that
tunnels.
it's some kind of multi-dimensional thing.
And there's
it goes to a bunch of different areas at once, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they go to this rich people's thing.
That one conspiracy was underground tunnels connecting a lot of places in the world. There's a conspiracy about that, actually.
Yeah, so...
It's probably that.
That was part of this. They find all the rich people. One of the guys that was sitting on the couch at the beginning is there. He's like, oh, you guys are here. You should have dressed up for the occasion.
So they actually said that rich people and poor people, when they learn stuff, some of them get offered lots of money, and they just get bought out.
Yeah.
As part, you can, while we destroyed the Earth for its resources, you can just, on the winning side.
Yeah, so, anyway, so they go they find their guy, their friend. He's, showing around, basically giving all the secrets, here's where the aliens come from in the space station.
Here's their space station, and here's where they brainwash people.
Here's their broadcast system. He's like, oh, where do they broadcast the signal from? That's on the roof.
Yeah, I can show you that. I've been here 5 days.
And then he's like, oh, can you get your friends here? And he's like, I think there's literally, in the movie, there's probably been, 3 days that's passed.
Yeah.
This is probably, the third day. And the guy's like, yeah, these guys are my friends. And he's, talking to them.
I've got a lot of pull around here.
And then, so they end up killing the two guards. So he's got a shotgun again, right? He uses a shotgun and kills them, everybody in this room. And then there's, a news broadcast happening just on the other side of the window, and he's like, oh, it must be soundproof.
They didn't even look. They couldn't see it.
It's I don't know about you, but I've heard shotguns fired before, and you can hear those for miles. There's no way a soundproof room would cover up.
The glass is soundproof, but the wall is just the wall.
So anyways, they end up going through these offices with guns.
And one-handing automatic weapons.
Yeah, one-handing shooting automatic weapons. They're walking through these offices, and the people are slightly concerned.
Yeah.
So they're they see them, what's going on here? And then he's just asking them where Holly is, right?
Yeah, they were like, Holly's here. We got to get her help.
And they end up finding her after a while, after walking through this maze of hallways and shooting things.
And then when the police come, everyone freaks out.
Yeah, the guards come that was supposed to keep them safe. They start screaming, and people are flipping tables over and stuff. It's they were more concerned about the police than them.
Now let's not say what happens at the end. I think is the best.
Yeah,
if
you want to watch this. Yeah, we won't spoil the ending, but it had been so long for me since I watched it. It's been probably at least a good 20 years. I'm showing my age here, but yeah, at least 20, 21 years since I've seen it last, and I couldn't remember a lot of it. Yeah. But yeah, it was
very 80s, very cool.
Yeah,
I liked what they did.
Definitely a lot of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
especially him being in the city, had already been on a murder spree. Nobody that's seen him would have called the police on him.
Now, they're saying they were instigating poor people and also, at one point, violence. And I remember that he said something about his father beating him and how maybe that was the aliens doing, is what they implied. It's well, he did that. I think it's because the aliens brainwashing. He didn't say it out loud, but that's what he implied, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's when they went to the hotel together. It's funny because when him and Frank went to the hotel before they went to this meeting with everybody who had the glasses, they both go in, they're both sweaty and blood everywhere.
And Nada has a huge swollen cheek, and later that night, 2 hours later, it's gone.
3 hours later,
he's been healed like a cartoon
he's completely fine. That. That swollen cheek would have been there for at least 3 or 4 days.
I mean, it was pretty good cosmetic work too.
Yeah, you couldn't really tell.
Get rid of it 2 hours later.
But they were like, you know what, this is gonna be too much work for our makeup team. Let's just make him. He's got just a really good recovery system.
They are tough. Also, I should say they're very tough and they're dirty fighters.
Yeah.
Because at one point, Nada goes for Frank's nuts. He's like,
It's
"Oh,
at the
you
very
son of a-"
beginning.
Yeah, and then later on, Frank bites Nada's hand, and he's got a huge bite mark. And then Frank hits Nada in the nuts like 3 times.
Multiple times, like his
With his
knee.
knee, yeah.
Multiple times.
And
Like,
he's
for
fine.
Nada to fight after that, I was like, that's respect. I couldn't be able to get up after that happened once.
It's
God.
for as long a fight scene as it was, it felt good. You know,
It felt painful.
It felt fine in the movie.
I think the
despite
actors
being-
were actually legitimately beating each other down. I think they just had, like, you know, some kind of...
That couldn't be true because
Yeah.
I saw a lot of like fake punches being thrown.
Yeah, I know there was, but it was good. It was like, it was a really good movie. I highly recommend seeing it if you haven't seen it.
You like old sci-fi.
Like, we don't do it justice explaining it, but yeah, it's great.
yeah, it's
But yeah, if there's any other movie, like any other old movie or like maybe even new movie that you want us to, you know, talk about or like review, you know, like just let us know down in the comments. You know, make sure to like, subscribe, smash that like button, and yeah, share it with like all your relatives, all your grandparents, everybody. You know, share far and
Grandma,
wide.
there's this podcast where they talk about this movie. It's like, I don't give a shit. Get me my
I'm
prune
worried
juice.
about this cough that's coming from the country with
Have
the red
you
and
heard
the yellow.
about the Bud Light virus? I hear it's coming through the alcohol.
Yeah, that Bud Light. Everybody, the alcoholics are gonna end us all.
Oh, God.
Holler at you later.
Goodbye. Farewell.